Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 5 of the Cannons and Tomahawks Podcast. It's our special Battle of the Alberta edition. I am Zach Martin, and as always, with me is Alex Nuttall. Alex, man, how are you doing tonight? And it's gonna be a fun night. We actually have a special guest, but how are you doing tonight, man?
Doing great. I have been, put down in the dumps for the last 10 minutes. Everyone rubbing in that the Blue Jackets don't have a Stanley Cup, and hey, what's it like winning the second round? You guys wouldn't know? No idea. Okay, that's great.
Hey, you want to talk crap about how great your beard is?
Oh, it is glorious. But no, with us, we've got one of our buddies, Ethan. He is one of our co-senior admins on our hockey page, Between the Pipes Hockey on Facebook. And Ethan, how you doing, man?
Good. Really good. Excited to be here. Alex did it to himself. I just want to point out before we go any further, he started it. Not my fault.
All right, guys, it's been a great episode. We're going to go ahead and end that here.
Hey, Ethan is right, though. You did kind of start and me and him just finished it for you. So, I mean, what did you think was going to happen when you have 3 senior admins?
You can't bring out facial hair and not expect a war. Like, that's just cruel. I'm sorry that I will be this beautiful permanently while you age like milk.
That's fine. Well, just go ahead and let me know what it's like when you get carded for alcohol for the next 30 years.
I'm not concerned. The black and beautiful, baby. Let's go.
I mean, I don't know why Alex is complaining. He knows if you have 3 senior admins from a trash talk hockey page on together, that this is gonna happen. So yeah. I mean, it's kind of on him, to be honest. I mean, hey, it's not our fault you're 10 ply soft.
This is your brainchild, man.
How many of you swept Tampa in the first round? Nothing. That's all I got.
We beat Tampa in the Stanley Cup final. Suck on that.
What do you do?
I mean, you walked first into that, but I will give you the sweeping of Tampa. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
I think pretty much everyone did.
Oh yeah. Before we do get into everything with this, I do want to announce that we are officially sponsored by Pure Hockey and Spy Optics. Pure Hockey is the official provider for USA Hockey, which I think that's pretty awesome. And Spy Optics, if you guys need some cool sunglasses, like I have, 100 different pairs in my house, I'm going to get more. So if you guys want some cool shades, they got a bunch of other stuff too. Go hit them up. The link's in our link tree on our Twitter page. And let's get to this. Battle of Alberta kicks off. Game 1 of 10 starts tonight. How are you guys feeling about it?
Stoked. So excited right now. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be insane. We already knew how crazy the series was in general, but now you guys get each other 10 times this year, especially in an all Canadian division where I think there's gonna be more rivalries built just from this alone. I mean, we've seen it with Toronto and Calgary, just Toronto and Ottawa are getting back into stuff again, and now of course with you guys playing Calgary, it's gonna be wild, man. I'm gonna put, I think, over under like 4.5 fights tonight. Like, it's just gonna get stupid.
There's gonna be at least one.
It's gonna be glorious. Tonight's like it's palpable here, even in the city, and like Alberta's set and ready for this tonight. It's gonna be good.
Oh, for sure. I have to compliment that you're rocking the throwback Oilers jersey. That thing is just, I get 2006 vibes from that thing. That thing is just glorious. And the Batman logo behind you too, dude. For the people who aren't watching the video or just listening to the audio, Ethan's rocking that really crisp Oilers jersey, and he's got the Batman logo right above him. So I mean, he's all ready to go from what it seems like, man.
Yeah, and if you're not watching the video version, you got something wrong with you. Go to our YouTube page and watch it. It's awesome. I promise.
And the black and beautiful thing won't make sense if you don't see it. So
yeah.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think from the 4 games that there were, on average, I mean, the Oilers and the Flames play each other 4 times a year, and that's going up by 250%. It's the amount of nonsense that goes on in those games, minus any playoff action. It's going to be crazy. These next 10 games are going to be just stupid.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out tonight. I think it's going to be kind of a runaway game. If someone gets out early, it'll be who wins it. but it's going to be probably the most violent game we've seen this season. I can almost guarantee it. And it won't take much to set it off, and that's what will happen. It'll take one person, one slash, and that'll be it.
Well, when you got Cassian and Matthew Tkachuk on the ice, yeah, you already know something's going to go down. I mean, shoot. Tkachuk and all. What's that?
Who? Sorry, the turtle. The
turtle. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. My bad. I forgot.
Turtle.
Is he turtly enough for the Turtle Club? But no, man. It's just for the fact of what happened with Tkachuk and Muzzin, it's just he knows he can't pull that with Cassian because Cassian is just going to absolutely just roll him, which he's already done before. So I mean,
all that does is solidify how short of a fuse Tkachuk is. I mean, he has a short fuse. His brother does. I mean, they're like the exact same person. They're just one's on a really bad team and another one's on a bad team. But
their dad was like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't any better.
It's crazy.
But it's going to be, and that's kind of the thing, like to go back to the rivalries thing, like we even saw Edmonton, Ottawa, like that got chippy at the end. And then again, Cassian and Tkachuk and everybody else, like that one, Darnell is throwing around other people. It just like, there's new things. And you just see that many people that many times.
Yeah.
What an exciting time to be alive watching hockey.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse is a scary dude. Like that's one guy I do not want to mess with. Like he looks like he can just take a couple people out, and then you got Cassian along with him, and you have Ethan Bear on your team. Dude, you guys just have bodies everywhere that can just drop people.
Well, and you look at, you go and you name off those big guys, but you are underrated in the fact that Archibald almost leads the league. The little midget we have in hitting, he's one of the most not scared of nobody.
The Archibald is, he's feisty too, man.
Archie and Yamo, we had the two smallest dudes, and yet nobody likes playing against them. They're just little irritating little shits, and I love it.
Yeah, for the fact that you got Yamamoto was just chef's kiss to your front office to be like, we're gonna get this dude, and it's like, okay. Along with next to you got Nuge and Draisaitl and McDavid. It's like, good grief, man. Like,
you think we'd win more games? You really do. Like on paper, we're so great.
I picked you guys to win the North Division. Come on, you gotta make me look good here.
Now, my choice is looking solid with Montreal. Okay, just saying.
I thought you picked Toronto.
No, I chose Montreal to win, and then Toronto in second, which. Toronto right now is smacking around the Canucks 5-0. So that's fun.
Everyone's smacking around the Canucks. What are you talking about? Everyone's beating on them.
Well, I don't think the Senators aren't. They're not smacking anybody around.
Well, except for the one game to beat Toronto, but I
think this year is going to be really streaky. I think that we're set to try to win 4 in a row here, but we lost. Like it just sucked. But you look at Ottawa, we just slammed the shit out of them. And they got their shit slammed. Yeah. But you look at Vancouver, did the same thing. They started winning. Now they are having a field day. Like everyone's just like, if you go and it's just like, you just can't. You can't get separation. I think that's what the season will look like. Nobody's going to actually pull away. This one's going to be a war.
Yeah. It's going to be great, especially when you think about that night that, Leon and Connor had where they got 11 points combined. And geez, like Draisaitl got 6 apples. Some guy, it takes guys a week to get maybe even 4 apples. This dude does it in one night. He's like, okay, here you go. Here's 6 points right here, and I'm not even scoring any of these. I'm just feeding you everything.
There's one thing that we do well. It's really unfortunate we aren't consistent with him, but when we hit, that's it. Like it is, we are formidable when we're hitting. We have the points, we have that, but when we don't have that violent streak, that mean streak, we just like get run over.
Well, I think too, it's like I think it comes down to goaltending too, because I know.
Are you gonna bring up that wound right now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, hey, man, just rip it off and go.
Hey man, I'm kind of dealing the same thing here in Chicago. We have 3 goalies, and one of them's actually
screwed. That was bad.
What's that?
You guys got screwed. That was bad.
When you trade Robin Leonard, and then we let Corey Crawford go, and then we got like 3 young guys. But hey, you know what? Lincoln is looking good. I wish Malcolm Subban did a little bit better, but
I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, Subban. Yeah, when you're a first round pick and you've like tried 3 franchises, and for some reason it's just
It's just like, not, like I honestly think Boston just was not a place for him that he could grow enough.
Yeah. Well, especially with Brian Tuca.
And then you thrust him into a position that he's not had enough, like not the mentorship he needed. And that's fortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
I could easily see in the off season, I could see Ottawa not protecting Matt Murray, letting him go. And then I could see Subban getting traded to the Senators to clear up that cap space for Chicago.
Yeah, just give us Tim Stützle. We'll be all right. We'll call it even.
Dude, you're going to need like 15 Subbans to be able to equate to one Stützle. Come on.
Yeah, knowing our luck, we'll get like good Branson or something, or Zaitsev.
Better than some of the guys you got.
Well, I mean, he's got you there. I'm sorry.
Not really. They just beat us this past Sunday, so I can't really say too much. We did just beat him, so I mean, he can't really talk that much crap.
That's fair. No, I mean,
so
Alex, you were grasping at straws tonight, Alex. What's going on?
I'm a Blue Jackets fan. I'm used to this, baby. That's all I can do.
He's literally grasping for straws.
Yeah,
fair.
But no, the one thing that I think with the Flames Oilers rivalry this year that's really going to suck is no fans. That's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's going from playing 4 times a year to 10 with the fans would be going insane to be able to see this in person.
Stupid.
Like, there's going to be probably on average 1 fight minimum per game.
Minimum. They're going to be violent
in the stands.
And in the first,
we're not even talking about the ice in the stands.
I think the game tonight is probably going to be pretty crazy. I think game 2 and 3 will probably kind of cool off a little bit. But once you get to like games 7, 8, 9, 10, dude, it's going to be a bloodbath. Like I
don't know, man. I think that you underestimate how much we really don't like each other.
No, I've seen
like tonight will determine if that's true. If tonight is as explosive as I think it will be, then 2 and 3 are not going to be any different. If this one isn't as violent, if they take their little time, there's a hit, maybe a fight, it's not that bad blood boil over, then you'll be right. They'll cool down, and then it's going to be exciting as shit the rest of the way. But this one will set the tone for how this goes.
Yeah, I've seen enough documentaries and enough stuff just on this rivalry alone. Like what Ethan said, if this kicks off tonight, it's going to be the next 10 games are just going to be, there's going to be so many fights. You're going to see dudes that you never think would fight in a fight just because it's just how it's going to be. Like,
like the last time Nuge fought was Monahan, wasn't it? In Calgary. Nuge.
And Nuge isn't a fighter.
Mad. Like the look like he had ill intent in that fight. He was pissed.
Yeah. When you have Nugent Hopkins willing to try to just beat your brakes off with his fists, you really made him mad. We'll probably see Connor McDavid throw hands at one point because I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
That's the thing that I found about him this year. He's hitting. He's realized that he actually has, and he can. He's got this and the size to actually throw his weight around. And this year I've noticed he is hitting more. And I'm like, I think he's realizing that he has to kind of set the tone that way. He can't just be the finesse player because teams are not going to give him the room to do it. So he's going to come and put the body on you now. And
which is funny because his agent before the season even started is acting like, oh, we need rules to protect our star players, like how the NFL protects our quarterbacks. And now you see McDavid out here throwing his body around. He's like, nope.
That his agent's a clown. I mean, like, my whole thing about
hockey players. Hockey players don't need special treatment.
No. I think that whole situation, with McDavid starting to get more physical this year, and what they've been doing has not worked. And what I mean by that is you haven't won the cup, so you got to change it up. Like, for example, the Blue Jackets, we've been statistically a defensive team the last 4 years. It's not doing anything, so we have to change it up. We have to do something different. Now, we just pick up Patrick Laine. He's not going to do well in a defensively structured environment, so you have to change it up. You have to kind of work with what you got. The Oilers, they have McDavid and Draisaitl, and really that's all you kind of hear about from a league-wide standpoint. You really hear about McDavid more than anything. Draisaitl is just kind of a shadow.
Well, yeah, which is done because we talked before the show even started. Like, Oilers have top to bottom, they have guys.
No, for sure.
Do stuff. It's
I mean,
crazy.
it's like the Penguins. You have Sidney Crosby and Malkin. Malkin is just, he is under Crosby's shadow. Like he doesn't get as much recognition as he should.
You know what I noticed this year is it looks like Malkin feels that way.
Oh, 100%. Look what happened with
demeanor has noticeably changed, in my opinion, and it looks like he doesn't love the game like he did, at all.
Look what happened with Hornquist. I mean, I know that whole trade situation was kind of a disaster as it is, but clearly he was not happy about it, and I think that all of that plays into it, and then all the nonsense recently with their GM stepping away, and it's there's something going on there. I don't know what, and I'm not going to speculate, but there's something culture wise or in the locker room wise or something that's going on. And I think that's like that when you have a team that has two big superstars and one is bigger than the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I can't say that they feel like that in Washington, but I wouldn't want to play with a guy like Ovechkin or Crosby or something if I was like a TJ Oshie, because then all the eyes are on Ovechkin. But I don't know. I
mean, if that depends if you want to build your brand. Now, if you're those guys and that you know that you're going to get the puck passed to you a lot more because the big names are getting double teamed. Hey, that's just more scoring chances for you, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at McDavid, you ask the dude anything. Dude, how do you feel about this? He's like, no, well, we got the team win. Like, what do you like? The dude doesn't want to be there. He doesn't. He wants to play hockey and do his thing. But every time, look at any interview you have. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. He doesn't give a shit about that. He wants to win. He knows he has the skills to get the points, but he just wants the team to fucking win, and that's why he's our captain. But he doesn't want to be in the limelight. Draisaitl can have it. Draisaitl doesn't want to be it either. And that's why it works for us here.
Yeah, and that's why I think with just if you guys have McDavid and Draisaitl for so long, all you guys need to do is just get a few pieces here and there, maybe some, Edmonton could be a wagon at some point, just with a few extra things they need to add. That team could be lethal. Like we talked about. A productive
off season this year. I'm not mad at many things that happened and transpired. Puyu is redeemed himself in my books thus far. The kid is fast. His hockey IQ seems to get better. Playing alongside McDavid's helped him.
That's crazy.
Solidified that top line, and I'm content with it.
Yeah, for the fact that Puljujarvi got he turned his whole mindset around, and just everything that happened with him the first time he was there, left and then came back, and now he's actually playing what he was supposed to be the first time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys. I mean, then we talk about Yamamoto. Your guys' defense.
Yamo's a household name now, man. That dude is making a name for himself as a legitimate pest, and everybody has to know where he is when he's on the ice. You got to know, because he just all of a sudden he steals more pucks and has more effort on the forecheck. That boy, man, he's a problem, and it's great.
You know what? I would love to see Yamamoto and the Turtle just scrap at least one time this year. I really hope I would really hope this happens, because having those two against each other in a fight, that's gonna be fireworks.
And Yamo's one of those. Yamo's the Ryan Smith. He's one of those guys. He loves it. The team, the city love him. He loves being here. That's that dude.
Yeah.
We have a couple of heart and soul guys that are just like that here.
Yeah, dude, it's same, man. Sure. You just need a couple pieces, man. Edmonton, like I said, I picked Edmonton to win the division this year, so I'm hoping that your boys turn it around for me and make me look good.
Well, we're all hoping the same thing.
So, Ethan, from your perspective, what kind of pieces do you think the Oilers would need to get to be more of a contender than they are now?
A legitimate starting goalie. The tandem worked for us a little bit. Like the competition to fight for the spot. We had a good streak going, and then COVID fucked that up. Whatever, we're over it. But it doesn't work. It's not going to work for us. And, Koskinen's been hung out to dry a few times, but he's also kept us in a lot of games. Honestly, it's small pieces. It's support pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys I think you could probably benefit from a another big name defenseman. Granted, I know you guys have
one short, but we also have a solid up and comer and two or three of them now. Like that's the kind of the unfortunate thing about how well we've done with picking those guys up is they're still developing, but we have 3-4 names down there that, Bush is coming up now getting a taste. That kid is going to be a stud for us. So we don't have if we want to keep something like that, we're not going to have the money to go get a big ass name if we want to keep bringing these guys up the way that we have been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, granted you got Darnell Nurse and Tyson Berry and stuff, but I think, if you had one more, and I'm not saying hey, you guys need a Victor Hedman or you need a Seth Jones or something like that. But I think now if Caleb Jones would be as good as his brother, then I think he'd be fine. But he's still just kind of a bottom 6 guy. It's that 6-7 spot. But I think one guy you guys have that gets overlooked a lot is James Neal, especially last year and the year before.
Oh, for sure, dude. He's the real deal, dude.
I don't actually think he gets overlooked here. Maybe he does where you guys are, but he's fan favorite up here.
Down here, you hear little of anyone outside of Draisaitl and McDavid because
oh no, man,
the NHL just loves to pick 5 guys and just run with them the whole season just because.
Yeah.
And plus you're not Toronto, so there you go.
Yeah, up here it's different. In this city, we talk about all of our players. We love literally all of them. But you're in Alberta, and Toronto is the center of the fucking universe. So all you get to hear about is how great Matthews can. He is whatever. You get it. Toronto's the center of the universe. We deal with that shit here too.
Yeah, and I think I know I speak more from kind of a league-wide thing. It's granted here in Columbus. They talk, it's all about, we'll talk about all the players and then the crew and
the Buckeyes.
Papa John's or something. Up there, I know it's all about the Oilers and Tim Hortons, but still it's, I think from a league-wide perspective, it's all McDavid and Draisaitl. That's all we hear about. And then we'll hear, we heard about Puljujarvi with all the nonsense going on, but then as soon as he signed the contract, it was like, yeah, no one cares about him anymore. It's all just McDavid and Matthews and Marner, and that's it. Great.
Tavares, Freddie Anderson, and then
right now, no one cares about Tavares. Like Matthews has scored a goal in the last 7 games. He scored tonight, so like right now, it's all about him. And then I think that goes in more with Ethan's comment earlier. Is it's all streaky. Like it's going to be streaky because Matthews started off and that he wasn't doing anything at all. And he scored in the last 7. And then I think he'll probably have another streak where he gets no points. So I think that's going to be like that for everybody for sure.
So Alex, what's for fans who don't know the records of this rivalry, what is the overall, tally of
50-40 Flames?
What's that, Ethan?
I said, I know the answer to the question. It's bad for us.
So
I wasn't trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah. So the Flames and Oilers have played each other, looking at here, 246 times. The Flames have won 124 times. The Oilers have won 97 times. And then, so 97, and there's 6 overtime losses for Calgary. So 103 times. So really it's 124, 103, and then they've tied 19 times. So before the overtime loss was a thing.
Jeez.
That's crazy. That's so much violence.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Do you remember a time where ties were a thing in hockey? Jeez.
Yeah. I mean,
that was wild.
Looking at it, you can see how much they've played the Oilers 246 times. They played the Blue Jackets 61 and the Avalanche 167, the Coyotes 204. It's crazy. You can tell how much they've played each other. They played the Golden Knights a staggering 11 times. So it's crazy. But yeah, man, it's, 100. So from the Flames perspective, 124, 97, 19, and 6 with 6 overtime losses. That's pretty crazy. That's not good for the Oilers, but at the same time, for the longest time I know a majority of those games, there wasn't 31 teams or 30 teams.
Yeah.
There were 16 or 20. So they're playing a lot more.
Yeah. So I'm curious, Ethan. So what makes you guys just in this rivalry for the fans just hate each other? Because I know distance wise, you guys aren't 2 hours from each other?
2 and change, yeah. 2.5.
So what
we drive, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just saying what makes this rivalry, what makes you guys just hate each other to the point of maybe Ohio State, Michigan, or Brown Steelers, or all these just I know the answer, but for people who don't know this, can you explain to us just why you guys just hate each other just relentlessly?
It's just relentless because we don't. It sucks. They suck. This rivalry this is everything. Okay? This is not just hockey. This is life. For whatever, this is what you're born that way. This is what happens when you are born in Alberta.
Yeah.
If you are, and this is the argument, we fight over Red Deer, but nobody really wants it. We give it to them on half of it. If you're there and up, you're on Edmonton's side, and everywhere.
Yeah.
But then we have to give up the mountains. And I think that's why we're so pissed, because we have to go through Calgary to get to Canmore and Banff, and that's upsetting. We could go to Jasper, but they're so expensive, and you got to go left and you got to go that way. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we really don't. When we go, I remember in high school, we used to go to Calgary for competitions all the time, and it's high school. It doesn't matter, but I've been in more fights on courts in high school sporting events than in the rest of my life. You're bred this way. It's so bad, but it's so great. Cowtown sucks. Calgary sucks. And I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing that helps fuel that rivalry is, the whole province, there's 2 big cities, Edmonton and Calgary, and that's it. And you have the states, in Ohio, you have Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. If Cleveland or Cincinnati had a hockey team, a professional hockey team, I'm sure them and the Blue Jackets would be big rivals. The Browns and the Bengals are kind of a rival, but it's more the Browns and the Steelers here. But, having those big cities that close to each other helps. And, not to mention, hockey is looked at very differently than it is in the States.
You're
born
Canadian this. I think they know that.
If you're born in Canada and your first day in the hospital, they give you a hockey puck. Here, they're okay, well, we'll figure out what we want to give you in about 15 years. It's I feel from an American standpoint, it's Canadians look at hockey the way we look at, football or baseball. It's kind of hey, well, if you're raised and you're a guy, you got to play this, or you're a girl, you got to play this. Well, in Canada, it seems hey, you're born, so you have to play hockey. Okay. So if you don't want to play hockey, then you better learn to play hockey, because that's the way it's going to be. Or lacrosse. Yeah.
Which is also the second worst for absolute just batshit crazy violence. So we did it well twice.
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to be a safe country, and you like the 2 most violent sports. That's
why our healthcare has to be free.
Speaking as the guy who actually played lacrosse in high school and in college, I can attest that sport is rough.
Ruthless, man.
Blown knees, broken ankles, cuts, everything, concussions. It's fun.
With a stick as much as you want.
Especially when you're a deep hole and the thing is 6 feet. You're a lumberjack.
Man. Yeah, we like our violence. That's strong and free. That's why nobody wants to fuck with us.
Yeah, the box lacrosse is legit though, especially when you got the Six Nations up there when they play. Those guys are running all over people.
Yeah, lacrosse is to us is like rugby to Australians and New Zealanders.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the same thing. There's it's a little bit lower key, but holy crap.
Yeah. American rules football or rugby and stuff like that. Yeah, it's insane. But how are you feeling tonight though? With do you guys know who you have starting in goal tonight for you guys yet, or has that not been announced?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Koski. I think Smith got cleared to play, but isn't, and we recalled Skinner, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not. It's not that I'm not mistaken. I'm being fed information quietly on both sides here because I assumed it was Koski, but yeah, I think we recalled Skinner as well. Yeah.
Okay. So with him in net, how bad do you think the Flames are going to beat you?
Oh, come on, man! Wow. Ethan, you know who to fight, man. You can fight this dude right here. You can. No, isn't me.
Fine.
Hey, I'm a Blue Jackets fan, man. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, except every hockey game and the cup appearances, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. At least I'm not holding on to a cup from 20 years ago.
I'm not Toronto that hasn't done it in 64. You got wrong, same country, wrong side. They suck. We can be friends. Just why you gotta be so hostile? I get it. Or losers, but it's okay.
It's the red hair, man. It's the red hair. He's fiery.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Sure thing. I'll go with that.
But seriously, Ethan, how are you feeling tonight with Koski and net with you guys? If
we show up like we have been, we're gonna be fine. Like that's the problem. Isn't Koskinen? We leave that dude out to dry all the time. Like our defense has been bad, but we've now started to actually come up with some solid pairings that can actually support each other properly. Yeah. Like Barry is a great pairing for us, but it hasn't been a pairing up until the last 3 games or something like that. And they've done lights out, shutting him down. So no, if we actually support him the way we have been and our guys up front go do their job, it's just gonna be electric. It's gonna be great.
So like if you had to pick 3 keys for the Oilers to win tonight, what would those keys be for them to just beat Calgary tonight?
3 keys to beat Calgary tonight: hit everything. Calgary hates being hit. Calgary has a bunch of short fuses and they don't like to get hit.
They're in the wrong rivalry then if they don't want to get hit.
Dude, they don't. Look what happens every time we put the body on. They start to take extra liberties and swinging and hacking and getting pissed off. Like that's their MO. So hit everything that moves. Second thing, pepper, shoot everything. The issue with us is we try to look for that bullshit nice pass that we're so actually capable of doing, but we've been a hair off all season. And just put at the net. Let our grinders go get it. All those guys that like to stand in front of the net. That's why they're there. Yamo's one of the best puck retrievers. Put it at his feet, make him put it in the net. And stay out of the fucking penalty box. Larson, I'm talking to you.
I love that. He's just like Adam Larson. Stop.
So before we let you go, Ethan, I do want to get your opinion. How do you feel the Oilers are going to do throughout the rest of the season, up until the playoffs and things like that? So how do you think they're going to end this season? Do you think they're going to, make a solid run for the Cup? Do you think that, they might miss the playoffs? Do you think they're going to be in, maybe get knocked out first or second round? What are your thoughts about that?
I think that I think that as long as we continue to do what we're doing, like I said, we're a couple pieces short. We've talked about that a few times, but we have the ability to play lights out when we do. It's really tough to beat us. So we're starting to find that confidence streak now. I see us taking a solid run this year, deep into the playoffs for sure.
Wait, you going to knock out Toronto?
I won't have to.
Okay. Ottawa's going to do that for you, right?
Well, no, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Hey, as long as Edmonton makes the Final Four like I predicted, that would just be fantastic. But so Black History Month is going on and stuff like that, and the Boston Bruins are finally going to retire Willie O'Ree's number. Like, what are your thoughts on that whole situation of just how long it took for them just to get this done? And do you think they should do like a 2-step process, like raise kind of do a ceremony or raise a banner, but then actually do a full ceremony with fans there? Like, what are your just thoughts overall with the NHL finally doing something about this for Willie?
Okay. I have to be careful here. I do a lot of work on social injustice and mental health in my professional life. So I have to think this one through. I think that, like many people, I believe that it's long overdue. I think that, by way of actually recognizing one of the, pioneers that many people look up to, and you're just now getting to it. Like, I am very new to who he is, because I can't actually tell you that I knew who he was before I was 25. I didn't know about it. I had to have somebody else Tell me why. The generations before never got to talk about it, never got to hear about it. He was never celebrated. So to say that it's long overdue is an understatement, and I'll save the rest of my comments for later. But I do think that to not have a ceremony where the fans can experience that is absolutely ludicrous. Like, you were talking about the first, like that's no slouch. That's no, here, let's do something small. Here's a great, no, that is no, you honor that the way he fucking deserves.
Yeah, because he's what everyone compares him to is the Jackie Robinson of hockey, where he is the dude. And I think they should retire his number across the league, just like how baseball did with Jackie. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you think they should retire Willie O'Ree's number across the league? Because, I mean,
I think that it without a doubt, it shouldn't even be a question. I don't know why in professional sports there should even be a question. You made it about that for Jackie, so why the fuck is it even a question now?
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Why? I'm with you. You were right. Why? But why is it even a question?
Yeah, because I know we've talked offline a bunch about, social injustice, a whole bunch of different things, mental health and all that. So yeah, I mean, I totally get it, man. It's kind of ridiculous it took this long for it to happen. And it's good that, we got, groups now within the league with guys now and doing stuff and trying to figure out how to fix the culture that is in hockey. And, we've seen a lot of stuff that's happened over the last couple of years. And, with, that douche canoe in New York, Tony, all that crap that he's finally gone, thank goodness, after all that crap that he did, and, with Condre Miller, and great job by that kid getting his first NHL goal, man. It's like it's just crazy that we're still, I think at some point we got to figure out how to get this whole situation with the culture figured out. And like what you said, it shouldn't have taken this long to have Willie O'Ree even mentioned or have his number retired. It's insane, man. Like, it's crazy.
And what do you do? How do you even tell him that? Are you expecting him to be happy with the fact that he's finally getting his spot among the greats? Like, I can't. Honestly, how dare you? That's how.
Yeah. And the thing is, he only played what was it, Alex? 45 games total in his entire career with the Bruins.
It wasn't a lot.
It was like spot starts here and there. Over
honestly, I'm in the same boat as Ethan. I didn't really know much about him until really this year, to be completely honest. And when I started looking up history about him, it was, dude, I did not know he played that few games.
I think they mentioned him a couple of years ago too, but it was really small, nothing really big.
No, I think a lot of it was with everything that's been going on the last couple of years. And then, especially this year with deciding to retire his number, then, they're putting all the news out and everything like that. So then you look up the information, look up his stats, and you're like, oh, wow, holy crap. I didn't know he played that few games and made that big of an impact.
Yeah. Wasn't he partially blind too at one point, or he was actually legally blind?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's if I remember correctly, I think he's blind in one eye.
Yeah. And
it's crazy. And still played that many games.
Still played and, set a precedence that is still felt today, a legitimate and God honest, world changer like that, just back asswards, man. I hate to shit talk a great moment for him, but how dare the NHL, man? That's ridiculous to me.
Well, it's also the Boston Bruins too. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. The Bruins are an absolute joke of a franchise when it comes to doing anything clean.
Yeah.
But luckily we have so many other guys in the league now. We got Wayne Simmons is in, Evander Kane, Condre Miller, Darnell Nurse, Seth Jones, Malcolm Subban. It's good that we're seeing a lot more guys getting into the league and doing stuff like that, and getting more generations to see hey, we can also play hockey. It's not just for white guys.
I think the addition of that,
play.
I think the addition of that Hockey Diversity Alliance was a solid choice, and I think that should have happened before. But the guys that are a part of it as a whole, I'm not going to start talking about some of the guys and their personal situations or anything like that. But I think there's some solid guys on there. And a side note with Keandre Miller, the situation in New York, I'm telling you right now, that kid's going to be a captain one day. Dude's a rookie. And if all the rumors were true, this whatever issue that was going on between D'Angelo and I think it was it Georgiev or Shesterkin? One of the two.
It was Georgiev, yeah.
And Keandre Miller's the one that stopped it. Like, the kid's a rookie. It shouldn't be him. It should have been Panarin or Zibanejad. But no, it's Keandre Miller, the kid that's played like 8 games.
Yeah.
So the kid at minimum is going to have an A on his chest, but he'll be a captain one day for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. If it's not New York, it's going to be somewhere else who's actually going to appreciate him.
Absolutely. But, well, Ethan, before we go, man, before we let you get out of here and go watch your boys beat the Flames, you want to let anybody know about your businesses or anything you got going on up there in good old Canada?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, my name's Ethan Nicolas. I run Pity the Fool Fitness up here in Canada, out of Alberta. I'm actually offering virtual training right now just because of COVID, trying to branch out and, still be able to reach and help people. I can't actually train people down in the States and cross the border. So if you're looking to get a trainer, I'm here. I also do a ton of mental health work and advocacy with Pity the Fool Fitness as well. Put out a ton of resources all the time, shooting videos almost daily and just, trying to make this world a little bit of a better place.
Oh, that's awesome, man. You're doing some good work up there, and you're trying to help people have some solid mental space with everything that's been going on the last year plus. So, it's keep doing what you're doing up there. And, we really appreciate you getting on here with us and talking some good old Alberta hockey.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome having you on, man. It's been long overdue to actually do something like this and just to have you on. I know we've talked a bunch, and whenever all this goes away and borders back open, if you're ever down this way, man, just let me know. Get your beer
Absolutely.
and hang out and stuff, because for life, man.
Time. Catch a game. I like it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care of yourselves, man.
Man.
Hey, peace out, buddy. Have a good one.
Huge thanks to Ethan, man, to come on and talk to us about, Battle of Alberta, Willie O'Ree, and a bunch of other things. I mean, Alex, that was fun. That was a lot of fun bringing Ethan on just to talk about all that, man. Like, what were your thoughts? For
overall? Sure. Ethan's a good guy. It's nice being able to pick his brain about a lot of stuff, and especially with everything going on, the Hockey Diversity Alliance, Willie O'Ree and things like that. But, I love getting a genuine reaction from a Canadian regarding their Battle of Alberta. It's not it's not an Oilers fan that lives in Tennessee. It's an Oilers fan that lives in Edmonton. You can't get a more authentic reaction than that. So it's really cool to be able to get that kind of a voice and opinion about it.
Yeah, that was definitely great. So we're officially moving on to period 2. Fuck. You can fix that. So we're now going into period 2, talking about the Blackhawks, and it was an interesting week. Only played 3 games this week. We had the game on Sunday against the Blue Jackets, and then we had the midweek series against the Carolina Hurricanes on Tuesday and Thursday. And Sunday was pretty nice. I know not for Alex, after he talked all that smack about how, his boys are going to sweep us. But the Blackhawks walked away with a 3-1 win because apparently Elvis left the building and forgot how to play a puck.
He left the crease and left the building, and I don't know what the problem was.
Yeah, that was definitely rough for you guys. I mean, geez, like
the first 2 periods weren't bad from a Blue Jacket standpoint. They weren't bad, but I think once he gave up that second goal, then on his own mistake, that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And then he did it again, and it was just it. Yeah,
that goal from Kane where he's basically almost on the red line, like. The most ridiculous shot. I mean, it's a goal Kaner is going to make because it's
of course, because it's Kane.
Yeah. So, and Kevin Lankinen once again gets another W, and he just keeps proving why he's going to be. I think should be the dude in Chicago, because I mean, Carolina is a good team. They're a cup contender. I mean, they are a fast. Physical. I mean, Carolina is no joke. I mean, with Rod Brindamore as your head coach, like that team is absolutely insane.
Oh, for sure. I mean, can we just throw it out there that from a Blue Jackets perspective? I know we're only 10, 11 games in, depending on what team it is. But Lankinen needs to be in the conversation for the Calder 100% right now.
Oh, for sure. He has to be, because his, like, besides that one game against Carolina where they gave up, it was like those, because of that 6-4 game they had. I mean, yeah, Lankinen gave up 4, but none of those were really his fault. But other than that, that was the most he's given up in a game since that 5-game, against Florida. Everything else has been either like 3 or less. So, I mean, Lankinen has just been, and like none of those were even his fault in that one Carolina game. So, yeah, Lankinen is just on another level right now. Yeah, it's a small sample size. I mean, he's going to be probably due for a bad game here and there, which is, it's fine. It's development. It is what it is.
Happens to everybody.
For where he's at right now, I'm not upset by it. I mean, Kevin Lankinen, no doubt that's his crease. I mean, Subban got a couple bad spots here and there against Tampa and Nashville and stuff like that, but you got to take advantage of your opportunities, man. And Lankinen is not as floppy as Subban, and he's not as aggressive to go play the puck like Delia is. And Lankinen right now is a guy who stands tall, doesn't do a lot of, acrobatic saves. He does what he needs to do. And, just his demeanor and just what he does in the press conferences is so great. I mean, everyone in Chicago loves this guy already because just how good he is for us. Yeah. It's insane.
Oh, he definitely, is taking over, I think, but before the year started, you had Crawford end up leaving and then ultimately retiring. And then you guys signed Subban, I think, to a 2-year deal.
Yeah, it was a 2-year deal, which still makes absolutely no sense to anyone. But
so you would assume at that point that from a normal perspective, you're like, okay, Subban's going to be the starter. All right, you're thinking he's going to be the number one guy. Well, Lankinen comes in and he's like, oh, okay, well, hold my beer. No, he's not. It's going to be mine. In my opinion, that's what happened. 2 years ago with Bennington and Jake Allen. Jake Allen. I mean, he was mediocre at best. And then Bennington came in for half the year and absolutely destroyed everybody, took him from last to first and ultimately winning the cup.
I still try to forget about that because Blues fans are insufferable.
Yeah. We know two who are very annoying. So we'll just go ahead and leave that there. But, granted, I think the last year and Bennington I don't want to say he fell off, but
he came back to earth.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He had a insane run for that cup winning season, but then now people are realizing he's actually human and he has weaknesses and things like that. He's just a normal goalie.
With Lankinen right now, he's young, but like everyone's saying, he had a huge upside coming into the season, and he played really good, with Rockford when he did. And we talked about it with the shy puck guys. I mean, the dude won a ice world championships with Finland, going 7-1 and had a 1.5 goals against. And he was an MVP. It was an MVP of that tournament. That's stupid.
Yeah.
We're talking about loaded Canadian teams and Russian teams and all that stuff.
For sure. Yeah. The kid is very, very, very good. I mean, my opinion, this is from a Blue Jackets perspective. You guys, granted, take the game differentials out of the equation. I don't think you guys would be in 5th place right now if it wasn't for him. Granted, you're 4-4-4, but I would say maybe 2 of those wins would come off, and those would just be losses if it wasn't for him.
We would probably have we probably wouldn't have an overtime loss. Like, I think you take away 2 wins and an overtime loss. Yeah, we're talking about a whole completely different season.
Yeah.
Because, actually not even 2 games. He's won all of our games. He's got all 4 of our wins.
Yeah.
So you take all 4 of those wins and an overtime loss. Let's just say we get 1 or 2 wins without him in net and then lose in overtime. We're talking about a whole different season regardless, just because the fact of how good he is. I mean, he's not the only rookie that's really good on our team right now. I mean, Philip Kurashev and Pius Suter have just been on an absolute tear as well. I mean, Kurashev leads all rookies in points with 4. And Suter had a hat trick against Nashville. I mean, it was against Detroit. I mean, those 2 guys, and the good thing is they're both from Switzerland. I call them the Swiss connection because those two are just unreal right now. Like the youth movement right now is doing pretty well for the Blackhawks. I mean, Patrick came out and said like he's having fun right now with all these young guys who are stepping up and playing really well. I mean, got Ian Mitchell in there as well, Nicolas Baudin. We talk about, Kevin Lankinen, Suter, Kurashev. We just got a bunch of guys right now that are playing really well. They're, making it fun. And, we're not a team that's going to be flashy. We're not going to be scoring like 8-9 goals a night or, something crazy. This team at least is going to scrap. Yeah, there's the start of the season where we lost 15-5 in goals, but now we're, come back home to Chicago. Now we're like a completely different team. And it's a lot of scratching and clawing and just playing hard hockey. And it's just fun to watch, especially with those two guys. It's crazy.
Once some of your young guys start to develop, once Suter and Kurashev start to develop a little bit more, and then you guys get Kirby Doc back. And then once Taze comes back, and then once, when you guys are healthy, honestly, you guys are probably going to be pretty good. Now, granted, you still have to deal with the age factor with Kane and Taze and Duncan Keith and stuff like that. But, I think every team has to have a couple of those old veterans. Now, you have to put into the conversation the salary cap hit between Kane and Taze. That's not very pretty, but
no, and that's been well documented for a long time that it is what it is. And even with Dunks and Siebes, their contracts aren't that great either. But I mean, just get, like you said, get Doc back, get Taze back, get all the young guys better. Like I said, Ian Mitchell, Nicolas Baudin. I mean, Carlson, if Adam Bookwas decides to be the guy that he was supposed to be as the 8th overall, I mean, they were talking about this team maybe being a sneak in the 4th seed if we had everyone healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for where we're at right now at 4-4-4, where a lot of people are kind of just writing us off as a 7th or 8th place team in the division. Granted, we are in 6th just because of point percentage, but I mean, I'll take a 4-4-4 record right now, knowing that we're actually looking pretty decent with this young group.
You guys are definitely, from my perspective, the Blackhawks are definitely exceeding a lot of people's expectations this year so far.
They are. They are.
I think Lankinen is going to help that a lot. And
for sure.
A lot of the situations between teams are, so look at the Blue Jackets perspective. It's been, hey, you have Korpisalo and you have Elvis. You're going to go Corpy, Elvis. You're going to ride both of the goalies. Chicago, I think, needs to try, and it sounds bad, but I think they need to try and ride Lankinen as much as they can.
No, I agree.
Granted, back-to-backs, you have to give them a break and things like that. But, if you have one game and then 2 days off and then you have another game, guess what? Lanks needs to start both of those games, and then he needs to start a game if he has enough rest.
Yeah, I mean, and Carlton's acting like, we haven't made a decision yet. We're not going to try to ride the hot goalie right now. We're going to give other guys chances too. I mean, Delia's played like maybe 1 or 2 games this entire year. And Subban's played maybe like 2, maybe 3. It's like, I know you don't want to ride the hot goalie, but you kind of have to. Like he's
giving you guys a chance.
Yeah, he's gotten us wins. Like 41 of 42 against Nashville. I mean, granted that was a shootout loss, but still, he got 41 saves. I mean, the Detroit series, that game when we lost to you guys on Friday night, that was close.
That was a close game
because of Lankinen. I mean, it's Lankinen. I think has got to the point, like you said, it's his net, and the Blackhawks. I agree with you. The Blackhawks need to ride him as much as they can, and give him. I mean, maybe start Subban or Delia here and there, so they don't get rusty from sitting so much. But you gotta give Lankinen all the opportunities there as it is.
For sure. So how about that game that Kaner had the other day?
Oh, yeah, it was game 2 against Carolina where he got 4 points that night. Yeah, that was absolutely insane. That was a great night. Granted, I almost had a heart attack in the second period because we were up 3-1, and then they automatically scored 2 in like about 8 seconds, and then luckily the third period they just. Of course, the power play was just absolutely stupid that night. They went 4 for 5 or some or like 3 for 5 or some nonsense like that. Like the power play just went absolute stupid. Like our power play this year, I think we were 8 for 18 at home, and I think it was like 16 for, or it was like 18 for something. Like we're at a 43% clip right now on our power play. Granted, our pillow kill has been that great, but our power play has just been absolutely insane this year. I think we've maybe 1 or 2 games where they haven't scored a power play goal. But that night against Carolina, all 3 goals in the first period were all off the power play. But yeah, Kaner just went absolutely off that night. It was absolutely insane. And then the good thing about that too is he's now 6th all-time in points for a U.S. player. So he's just getting closer and closer to, becoming the best American player of all time. And he's like 6 goals away from hitting 400 too. So, I mean, he's going to get it either this week or next week. Hoping it's against you guys. That'd be great.
Let's just not. Let's just not. 400. Let's not make it worse. Because honestly, so with our series coming up, I have a feeling we're going to split again. I think I could see like both games being a 4-1 thing because, well, I'll get into that a little bit more later, but like Elvis is out. He's day-to-day right now with an upper body injury. So our goalie situation, it's going to be right now, it's probably just going to be Corpy. And then we got Kivlinix in the back, but we'll have to figure all that out. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think every one of our series with our teams, I think almost all of them are going to be splits. I don't think anyone's going to get a sweep. If they do, it's going to be 3-2, 2-1, maybe a random 4-2, 4-1 game. But
yeah,
I think a lot of them are going to be close. For what I think where we're at with our teams, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. And unlike a certain podcast, along with Belly Up Sports, have been talking about how our division is toilet versus toilets, it's actually pretty exciting. So
I wonder who that would be. Shout out to the Slapshot Sweethearts.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And thank you for making the Blackhawks the 31st logo in a ranking for NHL logos, which makes no sense. But
hey, the Blue Jackets aren't in the first episode, so I'm happy. That's fine. Not a big
whatever. Take your moral victories along with your winning your first ever round a couple of years ago, and
hey,
have fun with that,
dude. I threw that first round trophy up on the shelves, baby. That trophy's awesome.
Oh man. The last thing for the Blackhawks, the defense did kind of collapse. We did win that game against Carolina, but it was kind of ugly how the defense kind of fell apart there. I think at some point they might need to address the defense a little bit more because for whatever reason, like I like Calvin DeHaan, but he's gotten outplayed so many times this year. It's kind of becoming a liability. And Adam Boquist kind of needs to be the guy that we need him to be for him being an 8th overall pick. I don't think we're ever going to get someone in free agency because of how cap strapped this team is. But what do you
think you guys would need to do to address the defense? What do you think you would need? Because
we would have to trade some of our defensemen like DeHaan or someone that we can get some. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get rid of Murphy because Murphy's too good. You don't get rid of Dunks. You don't get rid of Siebes because those two guys got no move clauses, and you're not going to give up Mitchell or Carlson or Berdan. Or I think that at some point you might have to move a defenseman and try a defenseman and a pick or a defenseman and a prospect and go get a defenseman who is a top 4 guy or someone who can play in the top 6 that's highly reliable that you can count on night in and night out. That's not going to be a streaky guy. And stuff like that. Like, I know you want to get the young guys more time, but I do think you have to probably address, maybe you do need to trade a veteran in a pick to get a guy who either has already had the potential of a top 4 or is almost there.
Yeah.
Because right now you can't give up 2 goals in 8 seconds and take a 3-1 lead and make it 3-3. And then you're sweating bullets until the third period because
do you see him
let this team back in?
Do you see him entertaining any trade ideas for Zadorov? Because his contract is up, but he's still a restricted free agent. So they would retain his rights. So he would look pretty valuable to other teams rather than going for like Connor Murphy, who after next season is an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because they have, so Like Duncan Keith is 37, Calvin DeHaan's 29, Connor Murphy's 27, Zadorov's 25, Mitchell's 22, Beaudin's 21, and Carlson's 23. So you have a lot of young guys, but it seems like there's just something not working there.
It's a lot of young guys in the system that's still trying to figure out what they need to do. And unfortunately, our defense gives up a lot of opportunities. We've had the worst defense the last 2 years overall when it comes to shot, high danger chances. If they want to make them, if someone wants to give the Blackhawks something for Zadorov, that's going to make it be like, okay, it's worth doing this because you did give up Brandon Saad to get Zadorov, and then you're going to flip him before this season's even out after you just traded for him. You're going to have to give something decent back to make this work. Because honestly, if they don't, it's going to make that trade look really bad. That we traded a forward for a defenseman, and then we flipped that defenseman for someone else.
Yeah.
I agree. Not even a full season in.
I don't know.
It would have to be something worthwhile to do, in my opinion.
And I think they're going to end up looking at their current standings at that point too. And be, hey, if they happen to be in third place or something, making a playoff push, I wouldn't mess with anything. If they're in 6th or 7th place, okay, maybe look at that. All right, throw Zadorov for, to another team for a middle 6 guy and a high pick or something. Because he would get attention for sure. Being 25, still a restricted free agent, and he's big. That's kind of what some guys need, and he plays both sides, which helps too.
Yeah, it's he's been okay. There's some other times too where you're just kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So
if the Blackhawks do get an offer that's like kind of like, okay, maybe we do need to think about it, then okay, so be it. But it also, like you said, depends on where we're at in the standings. So
yeah, I think that kind of plays into, we talked with Johnny from the Fourth Brothers podcast, and there was the question about should the Blackhawks entertain possible trades for Patrick Kane, and as he said, it was why not? Look and see what other teams are offering. If you don't like it, the worst thing you can do is just say no. I don't want to. Yeah. If you're not top of the league, you should always be considering everything. Granted, he has a no move clause, and that would have to get waived, and there would have to be other stipulations figured out with that. But
of course, you have to figure out like teams are going to have to give up their farm to get Patrick Kane, because Patrick Kane is still Patrick Kane.
Well, of course,
he leads the team right now in goals, assists, and points.
Well, yeah, there's not much else there. You're losing all your other big guys, and they would also have to figure out, hey, how are you going to be able to hold on to a $10.5 million salary cap?
True. So
but, I don't know.
There's a lot of logistics with moving Patrick. So
yeah, you guys have looked good. I feel optimistic for the Blackhawks future for sure. It looks really good, especially in goal.
Yeah, honestly, I've said on Twitter, if we could be a team that could finish 4th at best, or we could finish 7th. It all really just depends.
I know the biggest thing with all of that is, if Lankinen's going to be you guys' future, I know after this season, you have got to sign him.
Oh, no
all
doubt.
3 of your goalies are unrestricted free agents after the 21-22 season. Delia, Subban, and Lankinen. And Lankinen, that would need to be
we got to lock him up.
That would need to be like a Bennington signing at least, because they signed him to what, I think 4 years after the.
How much was it per? What was it per? Like 5 or 6 or something like that?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. If
it needs to be a solid signing for him. I could see him getting at minimum to start probably a 3-year bridge deal worth, $3 or $4 million, but you got to figure out your salary cap situation with all that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's the one thing we got to worry about is trying to keep him and still have everyone else and then build a team around him. If we can get him for 3 years at, I would say 4.5 max per on a 3-year deal, or a 4 for 4.5 per. And like I said, that's the max you can do. 5 if you're really pushing, if you really want to keep them. It'll have to be somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
4.5 for sure. 5 if you're really like you really need to get it done. So
yeah, for sure. So moving on to period 3. Again, this is the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, brought to you by Belly Up Sports and sponsored by Pure Hockey and Spy Optics. So to start this little segment out is not great. Zach Werenski's on the IR for 1 to 2 weeks.
That's rough.
So
like one of your top guys
against Dallas on Thursday. There was a point where there was a defensive zone face-off and something happened. And then you kind of you didn't see it in real time, but then they showed the replay and you notice him kind of skating off, not wanting to put a lot of weight on his leg. It's like, okay, well, crap, this sucks. You see him go down the tunnel. Like, all right, well, this really sucks. But then he comes back and he, plays more shifts and finishes out the game. So you're like, okay, he's fine. Well, then they throw it out today. Like, hey, Werenski's on the IR. Like, oh, okay, crap. Well, here we go. It starts, enter the gif of the Joker saying, and here we go. Because once you get the first IR guy for the Blue Jackets, it's just a snowball.
It always happens to you guys. You get one guy, then it seems like half your team is out the next minute.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Luckily, silver lining, it's 1 to 2 weeks. The downside, it's 1 to 2 weeks because in this short season, everything counts more than it should.
You really can't have guys out for even 2 games.
But we have a good defensive core. I don't know who's going to come in. I think what I've seen on Twitter is it's going to be Scott Harrington. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. It should not be Scott Harrington. I would be bringing up Andrew Peak. There's a lot of Blue Jackets fans that love Scott Harrington. I don't see what you like in him. He is a 6'7" guy, and he's not that great, in my opinion. But
yeah,
he's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. He's got some holes in his defensive game, and for a defenseman, that's not where you want your holes to be.
Is he an offensive defenseman or is he a defensive defenseman?
He's more of a defensive defenseman. He's not very offensive. Probably our most offensive guys right now are Jonesy, Werenski, and Delzato. So
that's rough. If you're a defensive defenseman and you are weak in that position.
Yeah. Because we have typically our second line with Gavrikov and David Savard. Neither of those guys are offensive. Now, Gavrikov is way better than Savard in the offensive zone, but still, those two guys are built for defense and blocking shots.
Right.
So along with Werenski going to the IR, and they brought up Liam Foodie today from the taxi squad. Now they dropped him down on Thursday for it, but they brought him back up, which is interesting. And Mikhail Grigorenko apparently is going to be a healthy scratch tomorrow, which it kind of is surprising, but at the same time, it makes a ton of sense. I've been saying he should be a scratch because he's not looking like he knows what to do with the puck, which is surprising with the 4 years he played when he was drafted. Then he was in the KHL for 3 years. And, he is still a huge wild card. He could come out and just go on a tear, but then at the same time, he just doesn't look like he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I know Torts is kind of moving the lineup around, trying to figure out what's happening. Like with tomorrow, the big thing I saw was he's taking Max Domi away from center for now. So he's putting him back on the wing. So we'll see how that plays out and how that goes with, the rest of the lineup, especially with Line A. I would assume that probably puts Nick Foligno at center or Boone Jenner back at center or something. But I don't know. Well, actually, no, because we've got Texier, Roslovic, Mikko Koivu, and Riley Nash. Yep. So Nash is back, which congratulations to Riley Nash for his first child being born on February 1st. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. You guys got a lot of milestones recently.
Yeah. So we had the game on Thursday on the 4th was actually a pretty big game. So Cam Atkinson got his 200th career goal. Seth Jones got his 200th career assist. And then also, I think it was the Tuesday game. Tortorella coached, what was it, his 300th game with the Blue Jackets or 400th game with the Blue Jackets? I would have to look that up.
400 against us.
Was it? Yeah. I don't remember exactly.
I think it was his 400th overall against us, and it was probably about 3 with you guys.
Anyways, he hit a milestone. I totally forgot about that. Cam Atkinson getting that goal, you could tell there's such a huge weight lift off of his shoulders after that, because he's been getting so frustrated in games. And as soon as he scored that, he went to the bench and would not stop smiling the rest of the game. And he was just buzzing the rest of the game. Now, granted, I think he scored in the 3rd, but still he looks
that's pretty awesome.
Solid.
Hey, 200 more than I got.
oh yeah. Tell me about it. And then Nick Foligno's, he's sitting at 199. So, he's about to get his 200th goal, which is
that'd be great.
Like, there's milestones everywhere.
What about your new guys? I mean, shoot, the new boys get on the board.
So I'm going to start with Patrik Laine, because Roslovic, I have some strong opinions about it, and it's not bad. So Patrik Laine, in our 4-3 win over Dallas, he got his first goal.
That was disgusting.
So wasn't as typical one-timer, snipe from the blue line or anything like that. But I don't understand how this man was able to control the puck in the middle of 4 guys, yank it from one of the defensemen, and then get a backhander that squeaks by the goalie.
And was he even looking at, or he's like barely looking at goal, and he just throws it back there?
Yeah, he just kind of threw it. That's the one thing I like about him, is he'll just pepper the net.
He puts it on net. Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, if you're Dallas, you're like, nope, not our night. And we got one dude against 4 of their guys, and he just backhands it from the circle, from the dot almost.
Oh, for sure. I loved that goal. I mean, it was so simple, yet it was so just complicated.
It was so disgusting. It was just a disgusting goal that you're just like, that's gonna be the highlight reels for a while. Like, okay.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure. So he got his first goal. Now Roslovic, here's my thing with him is, before the year even started, we had the drama with Pierre-Luc Dubois, and then it all started with, trade Pierre-Luc Dubois to Winnipeg for Patrik Laine. Okay, well, then the stuff with Jack Roslovic started, and he wasn't going to camp until he got a contract. Well, he wanted to get traded too. So everyone started making jokes of, hey, well, why don't you trade Roslovic to Columbus? And then I looked at his points, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that here.
Yeah.
Well, I was sorely mistaken. Not from a points production standpoint, but maybe it's the change in scenery, being able to come home and play, where he grew up. But this kid is, I swear, every time I look up, I see his jersey. I mean, and the same thing with Laine. I mean, the other game, we're battling for a puck behind the Stars net, and then they get a breakaway. Well, somehow these guys get on defense, and they're the first guys in line in front of the Dallas forwards that are trying to make a break. I don't understand how they're getting everywhere. I mean, Laine is huge, but Roslovic is just going crazy. I mean, he's throwing guys into the boards. There was a huge hit at one point, and I wasn't paying attention to who it was. And I looked at it, and I thought it was, oh man, that's got to be Nick Foligno. Nope, that's Roslovic throwing. I think it was Jamie Benn or somebody into the wall. Like it's nuts. The kid is going crazy, and then he gets his first goal, which was a just beautiful snipe. He was about 15 feet out, right up the middle, and just threw it right over the left shoulder. I mean, it was a top shelf shot, and it was great. And I think that's cool for him because, he's been a Blue Jackets fan for as long as I would know.
I mean, because he played for the AAA Blue Jackets too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool. And, I know his parents were, I don't know if they were there or they were watching, but still, I mean, he was able to grab that puck and things like that. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I've been super pleased with him. That's for sure.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job on that deal for sure. So
yeah, so far we've won the trade because since the trade, Patrick Laine has scored a goal, Jack Roslovic has scored a goal, and Pierre-Luc Dubois has not scored. Now, before you tell me that Pierre-Luc Dubois hasn't even played, I know this. Just accept the consequences and accept the statement and understand that we won the trade right now. Don't care. End of discussion. We won the trade. Deal with it.
Yeah.
I know Pierre-Luc Dubois is about to, I think he just got cleared and he met the team today or yesterday.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Still, don't care. We won the trade. Deal with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And not even necessarily from Laine. Honestly, everyone was thinking more from Laine's perspective and things like that. But Roslovic was a solid pickup. And I think right now if you don't look at a points production thing or anything like that, just being able to see how hard he's working and, what Laine's able to do and things like that, I think we won the trade. Now, you can make a conversation, make a point, argument for both sides, but still, I think it was a solid move, and I'm glad we got it out of the way. Got that. Oh, for sure. That out of our faces.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So yeah, no, it's a good job by him, and not a bad trade at all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So the Blue Jackets have a game tomorrow and Monday against the Hurricanes. I think it'll be a solid series. I could see it maybe being a split.
Yeah.
The Blue Jackets, we've got to figure out our offense. We're not getting the scoring that we have to win games. I'm tired of these 2-1 games, 3-2 games. These 1-goal games are insane. They cannot keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's nerve-wracking. And I'm not saying just because it's stressful or anything like that, but if we're up 2-1 and the other team pulls the goalie, normally you're like, oh man, I hope they don't score.
Right.
Blue Jackets fans, I feel like we're okay. Well, they're going to score. It's irritating. We need to be able to play with a little bit of a buffer, but I think part of our problem is we'll get that buffer. We'll get a 2 or 3 goal lead, and then we just kind of slack off and don't play. And then they will tie it back up or get within 1. So when we have to crank it back up, and then that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think our biggest thing with that game is that series, we need to be consistent. If we can shut down like Teravainen and Sebastian Aho and Svechnikov, I think we can take the series. Honestly, I really do. If we win both, I think one is going to go to overtime.
I don't know. Carolina is tough. I mean, I'd probably see a split for you guys because Carolina is no joke. They have firepower all over the place, and their defense is really good. So, Slavin, Pesci, Dougie Hamilton. Yeah. Goaltending is going to be interesting because the fact that they lost one of their goal. I think they lost Mrazek.
Yeah, for a little bit. I don't remember how long, but I know they did. It's for a
good amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember exactly how much, but he's out. Yeah. So that's not good for them.
Yeah. So we have an afternoon game tomorrow against Dallas. Then we got them again Tuesday, which should be interesting for the fact that Pavelski leads the Dallas Stars in all their points across the board. So that's going to be interesting. I know he just destroyed you guys in that game.
That first game, he rickrolled us. I'm telling you what, I think he had 4 points. It was 3 or 4 points, but I'm pretty sure every single goal they scored, he was on the ice. It was it was dumb. It was so frustrating.
It was like 5 points. I thought it was like 4 or 5, but yeah, that was just stupid.
After the game, I could do without seeing him ever again.
I didn't hear from you the rest of the night. You're just like,
dude, nope. I was not happy. I think
you turned it off like halfway through after the second, right?
It was a few minutes into the third, and then I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to bed. This is just, we're not going to win. Oh, of course, I do that. And then my wife is like, hey, well, they scored. I'm like, yeah, great. Whatever. It's 5-2. Well, they scored again. Great. Oh, now it's 5-3. And I'm sitting there thinking, do I really want to turn this back on? No, just go to bed. Doesn't even matter. And it stayed that way, but still it was not a very fun game to watch. And, Corpy got pulled. He got hit pretty hard early, but it's fine. It happens.
Yeah. And then after our series with Dallas, we got you guys Thursday, Saturday. So
that should be a pretty good series. I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah, I think at least it's gonna be another split.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think if we have Lanks in net, we might sweep you guys.
I mean, we'll see what happens, especially with, my biggest question mark right now with Werenski out is how our defense is going to be, because then our pairings are going to be a little bit different. So I would say Seth Jones is probably going to be with either Dean Kukin or Michael Del Zotto. Gavrikov and Savard are going to stick together as usual. And then that fourth line is probably going to be either the other Kukin or Del Zotto and Harrington, which I still don't like, but I'm not the coach. I don't get to make those decisions.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting nonetheless, just how that series is gonna be. But I'm looking forward to it, though. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
For sure. Absolutely. Well, man, it's been fun. This has been a good episode. I was glad we were able to get Ethan on, and
sure.
If you guys are able to go check out his fitness business that he's got going on. He does a lot of virtual training, and he's got a lot of good clients, and he does really solid work a lot in the fitness world as well as the mental health world, which, especially with the Bell Let's Talk Day recently, mental health's a big thing, especially with all the COVID nonsense that's been going on the last year. So, go get him some business, go give him some likes, things like that. And, go check out our page on Facebook also, Between the Pipes Hockey. You'll see all of us just having a blast. We have admins for a lot of teams. We recently just got a new Red Wings admin. We got a couple other admins. So it's a pretty cool place over there, but yeah, it's been fun. We have a awesome interview coming up this week. We're actually going to be interviewing Jean-Luc Grandpierre from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Was the first Black player for the Columbus Blue Jackets on the inaugural team in the 2000 season. So I think, Zach, that's going to be fun. I'm really happy that we're able to get him on. I'm excited to get to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, especially it's going to be our special, Black History Month episode. We're just going to do it by itself. That's going to come out next week during the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun doing a little special, episode edition just on that, just talking to him and talking to the hyphenator. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. So it should be a good time, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And we also have a special guest that we're going to have next week as well. We're going to have the New Era Sins on. And then Zach, who else we got coming on?
Yeah, we got the Native American Guidance Alliance. They're going to be on too for a little bit to talk to us about, naming rights, just names and logos in the league, all over the leagues and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to have a conversation with them just to see, their perspective of representation with logos and names. So it should be a good time for sure. Like Alex said, catch us on Facebook with, Between the Pipes. Also, the podcast is on there too. You can check us out on Twitter. We're at Cannons and Tomahawks Pod. You can find Alex at @nuddle_CBJ. I got a new name now on there. It's CLE Zach. Pretty simple, straightforward, and stuff like that. And also, guys, make sure to check out Belly Up Sports. Check out all their other podcasts on their network. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff going on there. A lot of new podcasts are popping up. They do articles too. Make sure to check out all the articles as well. It's a lot of good stuff over there. And guys, definitely make sure to check out the links to Spy Optics and Pure Hockey, because they have a lot of cool stuff on there. A lot of good merchandise, like Alex said, sweatshirts, hats, gloves, equipment. On the hockey side with Spy, you get, goggles for skiing and snowboarding and sunglasses in general, skateboard stuff. They even got apparel too, hoodies and t-shirts. So make sure to click those links and just help our sponsors out, which would help us out too. So we would definitely appreciate just all the love you guys can give us, and make sure to follow us on Twitter and on Apple iTunes, Spotify, drop a 5-star rating, leave us a review, because if you do, we'll read it on the show. So make sure you go check those out and share it with everyone you know. If you know any fans that are Blue Jackets or Blackhawks or NHL fans in general, make sure to hit them up and send them our podcast, because we would love to get more fans to get this thing going.
Absolutely. Yeah. As you said, if you come hang out with us on Twitter, man, we're really active. A lot of the Belly Up Sports and Belly Up podcasts are also really active too. We're always trying to throw each under the bus and having a good time and, talk a lot of crap with everybody. So it's always a fun time over on Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel, give us a like and subscribe, click the notifications bell for all of our upcoming videos and things like that. But yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming up, and until next time, guys, have a great rest of your weekend, and go Jackets, go Hawks, beer, food, and hockey, baby.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.